Hey Book Dragons, welcome back to my channel. Today we are talking about classics that I have not read. Let's go. So I'm a little bit behind the eight ball when it comes to reading classics. I mostly read fantasy, sci-fi, mystery, things like that, and I have read some classics in those genres for sure. And I'll probably do a separate video at some point talking about classics that I have read. But I thought it would be cool to kind of explore and think about the classics that I have not read yet and whether or not I plan to read them. We're going to start with the Granddaddy. And this is horror. This is fantasy. This is vampires. And I love vampires. So you would think that I would have read Bram Stoker's Dracula, but I haven't. I haven't read Dracula. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I can hear it already. Chaz, you haven't read Dracula? I know. I can't believe I haven't read Dracula yet, but Dracula is one of those that I do plan to read sooner rather than later. Who knows, maybe I'll even get to it this year. But I know it's a huge classic. I've seen lots of adaptations of it. My favorite probably being Bram Stoker's Dracula. That is just an absolutely amazing film. It had its flaws, but it was really, really good. At least in my opinion, because I have nothing to base it off of. I haven't read the book, right? So I guess I better read the book. But as a film, it was fantastic, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. So I need to read Bram Stoker's Dracula so that I can have something worthwhile to say about the book and not just the movie. Because I have a feeling, as is usually always the case, that the book is better. That's just what I always end up finding to be true. On that note, another classic Gothic horror novel that I have not read yet is Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. Yep, I have not read Frankenstein ever. Not once. And I need to. I really do want to read Mary Shelley's Frankenstein and see what all the hype is about. I mean, I've seen some adaptations of it, both comedic and dramatic, and I love them. It's a great character. Not my favorite character. I mean, I would pick Dracula over Frankenstein in terms of classic horror characters, but I'm very excited to read Frankenstein and see what I think of it. So that is another one on my list. Another super popular classic, and this is within the sci-fi genre, is The Time Machine by H.G. Wells. I haven't read it, and it's one that I have wanted to read. I've had it on my list for years, but I just have not done it. So that is something that I do plan to remedy very soon. Again, possibly this year. Frankenstein as well, possibly this year, but there's really no excuse, I don't think, for The Time Machine, especially because I think it's a pretty short book, so I could probably blow through it really quickly. So that is definitely one that I need to get to. Another classic that I have not read, and are you sitting down for this? You need to be sitting down for this, because I think you're going to fall over if you're not sitting down. You may even fall out of your chair. I have not read A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens. I haven't read it. I've seen tons of adaptations of it, one of which is my absolute favorite, with George C. Scott as Ebenezer Scrooge. Just a fantastic movie. but I haven't read the book. I know. I need to read the book. And I am planning to read A Christmas Carol in December. I am going to read it for Christmas time. So that is a definite plan. You can hold me to that. I have said it on video. If it does not happen, you can be like, Chaz, you lied to me. Why did you lie to me? Chaz, don't do that. So, yes, I will read A Christmas Carol in December. I promise. I promise. um, Another classic that I have not read, and classic dystopian, I guess is what it would fall into, and that is 1984 by George Orwell. I have not read 1984. In fact, I have not read any George Orwell at all. So I haven't read 1984, and I have not read Animal Farm, both of which are heralded as some of the best writing from George Orwell that exists. And a lot of times it's required reading in schools, or at least Animal Farm is. And I've not read them, neither one of them. So I eventually, I don't know. These are books that I'm kind of on the fence with. Okay, I saw the movie 1984 way back in the day, and it was pretty good. I enjoyed it, but I don't know if I desire to read the book or not. I kind of know the basic premise, right? And it's just like, okay, is it worth reading? Tell me in the comments. I'd love to know. Animal Farm the same way. I'm not sold on whether or not I want to read it. So yeah. Let me know in the comments if you think I should read those books and why you think I should read them. I would like some concrete points on why I should read 1984 and Animal Farm. No, it doesn't have to be that concrete, but yeah, tell me in the comments. I would love to know. I also have not read any of the Conan books, and I know they're super popular. They're popular in a niche audience, but they're popular, and I've had a lot of people tell me I need to read the Conan books. I've had a lot of people tell me I need to see the Conan movies. I have not seen any of the Conan movies at all, and I know I'm classic Arnold Schwarzenegger, right? But I haven't watched them, and so yeah, I eventually I have been told I should read the Conan books. And this is another series that I'm just not sure I have any interest in. Maybe I'll read it, maybe I won't. Let me know in the comments if you think I should. If I get enough public outcry, I may just read them. I also have not read the John Carter of Mars series. Not one of them. Edgar Rice Burroughs. Just I have not read any of those books, and I've heard that I should. I've been kind of interested to check them out. This is a series that I definitely may check out at some point because even though it probably wasn't a faithful adaptation, I really enjoyed the John Carter movie that was put out by Disney. I thought it was quite good, very entertaining. So it made me want to check out and read the books. So eventually I probably will pick those up. You can tell me why I need to read them in the comments below, but I need to read them regardless of whether or not everybody says I need to. I do plan to read them. Another series that I have not read is Alice in Wonderland. I haven't read any of them. I don't know if I will, honestly. I've heard they're good. I've heard they're quite a bit dated as well. And I've also heard that some are really good, some are not so good. So I've heard a lot of conflicting thoughts on Alice in Wonderland. In fact, the complete Through the Looking Glass series by Lewis Carroll, I just haven't heard a whole lot of overly positive stuff. it seems to be kind of hit or miss. So I would love to know your thoughts on that. What do you think? And then the final one on this list, and I'm sure there's a lot of others. The final one that I want to talk about on this list is The World of Oz by L. Frank Baum, which of course spawned the Wizard of Oz movie and several other adaptations and things like that. I have heard that they are good books. I don't know. I don't really have a strong desire to read them, but I've had a lot of people say that I should, and then I've heard other people say, it's, you could take it or leave it, Chaz. So let me know in the comments what you think about the Wizard of Oz series. And just this video as a whole, let me know. Have you read any of these books? What are your thoughts on them? How do you feel about their impact on reading culture, and if it's a must read, things like that? I would love to know your thoughts in the comments below. And there may be other classics that I did not mention on this list that you think I should read, or that you want to know if I've read. So let me know in the comments if there are some others that I didn't talk about. Because this is just kind of like a top 10 classics that I haven't read, but there's so many others. I mean, the classics go on and on and on. So there's so much out there to read and to think about on that subject. So let me know. I'd love to hear from you. And I think that's about it, guys. I'm done talking classics for today. Make sure that you are reading more books. I'll talk to you soon.